Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Kirti and I am with Joy. She is as joyful. Can you see her? And we are in the series where I'm talking to different people who had been into spirituality. And not talking more, I will let her introduce herself. So, hi, Joy. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me here. Yes.
Please introduce
Yeah.
yourself to the viewers.
Yeah. My name is Joy D. Fanning. My company is Astronaut of Life. I help spiritual seekers go inward to explore through guided meditation. So that's kind of my jam. And that's actually how I got started as well, was through guided meditations, which I know we'll dive into later, right? Yeah.
That's beautiful because I also do guided and mostly uh, personalized meditation. I can read the
Yes.
energies. So we are like soulmates. We do.
Totally. Yeah. One of my
Oh my
services
God.
is personalized meditations.
Okay.
I'm clairvoyant, so I get an image and I'm
Hmm.
a fiction writer as one of my hobbies, so I just kind of compile it and
We need
it
to
always
talk.
turns out so
We need to talk more later
it's so
on. Yes.
cool.
Okay. So my question for my viewers and for the series is, how do you started into spirituality and what was the first thing that you started with?
Okay, yeah. So I grew up in a Christian household. My dad was a pastor, so I was very ingrained in that religion. And then in my 20s, I left the church and all of that, and I was a self pronounced atheist. And I was an atheist for a few years. And then around my early 30s, after about like 5 years or so of being an atheist, I was introduced to meditation by my therapist because I had an anxiety disorder. And she's like, meditation could really help you like calm because you don't want to take medicine. So why don't you
Hmm.
give it a try? And it was not really introduced in a spiritual way. It was introduced like as a therapeutic way. So I
Hmm.
went to this meditation class that was hosted where my therapist worked. And we learned all these different ways for meditation, and I found it very interesting. And then sorry, my cat keeps trying to get in my
Hmm.
lap. um, so then I moved across the country and I met a friend named Benet, who she was a coworker and she was very into spirituality and she seemed very knowledgeable and just her energy was very intriguing to me. And I was like, this girl's like 10 years younger than me, but there is something going on here. Like, I want to know what's going on. And she gave me some names like, why don't you just check out Manny P. Hall and Eckhart Tolle and all these other people. And it kind of piqued my interest just because of her energy alone. And it eventually led to me doing more guided meditations that were not necessarily for my anxiety, but just piquing that curiosity of my higher self, spirit guides, things like this. And then I started having visions and experiences, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm not an atheist now. Maybe I'm just an agnostic. And then it just morphed into, well, shit, now I'm a spiritual person, like, okay, we're just going to accept it. But it was
Hmm.
it took a few years, like this
Hmm.
journey. Yeah.
It happens. Actually, this is great because one of my friends, and I interviewed her as well, Namita, she lives in India only. She started with therapy only because of depression and anxiety. So you two
Mm,
matches that word that meditation is not only for spiritual people, but
right.
psychological issues can be tamed and helped with meditation. And I always say to any of my clients to start meditating, and it
Oh,
is
totally.
so daunting to them. I can't do that. I don't have time for meditation. If someone comes to you who says, I don't have time for meditation, what would you suggest them?
I would say to start small. So because it's really hard to calm the mind and just take that time, but it's no different than having time to exercise or do other like self love or self healing kind of modalities,
Hmm.
right? So it's like, you know what? You don't have to like sit there for an hour and go, oh, that's not what it is. You're not a monk, right? You're not jumping into that role. You can do a 3 minute, 5 minute just to get you started. And for me, guided meditations are the easiest when you're just starting because it's so easy to get lost in your thoughts. And that voice guiding you just kind of gently brings you back. So it kind of
Hmm.
helps teach you how. And then once you get that down, then you can just go silent or listen to music or do all
Hmm.
these other forms. Even a walking meditation would be a good way to start. Then you're good at combining
Hmm.
exercise and meditation, right? So
Yeah,
if you could do that, if you're already like going for a walk or if that's something you enjoy, you could just add that in. And it's
that's
pretty
it.
easy to get started, but
Yes.
it is intimidating because you'll, I know for me, yeah, my therapist was teaching me, right? And we were in this group, but their couches were so comfortable where I was sitting. And I like you would just sink into it. And like that was my struggle in the beginning is I would just kind of fall asleep.
Well,
And that yeah, that would happen. That happened for like probably the first year of me trying to meditate because I would lay down to meditate and I would just fall asleep. But I was like, you know what? At least I'm calm. At least
Hmm.
there's something going on. And then it just kind of morphed. Now I don't lay down when I meditate, I sit up, but it took a while to get there. You kind of have to meet
Hmm.
yourself where you're at and go
Exactly.
from there. Yeah.
Hmm. What other practices are you doing except meditation? Like I do Reiki. I started with Reiki and then many things added on. Other divination tools or other tools that you are using?
Well, the main one I do besides meditation is automatic writing. So I channel through writing, which that came after I've learned how to meditate and kind of get in that deep meditative state. So now every morning I meditate and then I journal just where it's me writing. And then I ask my guides like a question or I'm like, I'm
Okay.
having this issue. And I just go into
Hmm.
automatic writing. And it's turned into this beautiful practice where it almost feels like meditation because I'll be writing and my hand
Hmm.
will be going very fast. And I won't even really know what I'm writing until it's over and then I read it. So
Hmm.
it's a pretty cool experience. But that's the one I'm currently kind of exploring and working with, which is really fun. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Because I used to do automatic writing, but with the spirits and for passing on the messages to the deceased people at the starting point. I don't do that anymore because I'm getting into minimalist
Ah.
aura where because I left my ex and uh, I came with only a few clothes and few documents and my son. So I am like, I have to leave everything one day. I have to die, and I should go as low as possible. I should keep things as low as possible. So I became minimalist. But yes, automatic writing is such a great therapy, and it is
Yeah.
also taught by my teacher in psychology as well. It is a beautiful. If you can do it, it is beautiful tool. And when people come to you, what do you think? What are the main struggles they come with in for meditation or for your health actually?
Yeah, well, I was able to connect with my guides and unlock my spiritual gifts via meditation. So, a lot of people come to me when they want to know who their guides are or who their star family is or their past lives. And I've learned how
Hmm.
to connect to my own through meditation. So, what I do for them is I create a personalized meditation where I connect with their energy, just like you
Hmm.
said you did. We
Yeah.
do it together. And then I'm like, well, I was connected with your energy and I saw this, and this past lives. And
Hmm.
what I love about this practice is 10 times out of 10, I'll usually see more than them, but one of the things we both see is the same. So, and it, for me, it's such a beautiful experience because it kind of helps them confirm that
Hmm.
what they are receiving and the messages they are getting are real and it's not just all in their head, because that's even how I got started on this path. Was I was just like, I think this is me making it up or whatever. And then my guides were
Exactly.
like, do this for other people, Joy, and just watch what happens. And I
Hmm.
did, and it resonates. So it's me more trying to help them to get that confidence, because I'll get messages and they're like, oh my gosh, those are the messages I've been getting over the past month.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, this is confirmation for you that you are
Hmm.
receiving the right, it really,
Yeah.
you really are receiving it and you can do it. And it's not something that's inaccessible for you. Like, my
Hmm.
goal is for people to not need me. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of my mission, is to help these spiritual seekers learn to go inside and find these answers, because I think our human selves are always grasping on the outside, like, oh, well, she can tell me what I want to know, or if
Hmm.
I read this book, I'll learn it. But
Hmm.
it's really all in here. Everything you need is accessible
Exactly.
right there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Because until we tap into ourselves, we will keep searching outside and won't get the answers at all. That's true. So I see that you are helping baby spiritualists who are just starting out. That's beautiful because that is such a difficult task. And
Yeah.
I appreciate that you are doing this because it is like helping a little child to walk. Right? If I
Yeah.
say
Well,
metaphorically, it is just like that.
yeah. Yeah. I remember on my journey when I finally, like, let myself kind of be like, okay, I'm a spiritual person. I would watch a lot of teachers on YouTube, but I
Hmm.
didn't always know what they were talking about, or I just knew it resonated. And I was like, I don't
Hmm.
know what this guy's saying really, but like I can feel it in my heart that something, whatever he's saying is true. So I would just keep watching, and they use a lot of different terms
Hmm.
than what I used in, Christianity growing up. And it was
Yeah.
somewhat similar, but also very different and more opening. And
Hmm.
I found that very intriguing, but it was also like a learning curve, right? Like,
We
so it,
learn actually.
yeah. I'm like, okay, if I can clear some things up for other people in that stage,
Hmm.
right on. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. That's beautiful because we are here. Um, in the past video with Christina, she said that we had to go through all these miseries, all these problems, all these, what do you say? Yeah, problems, just
Mhm.
to fill ourselves with light so that we can shine it out to them, so that
Oh,
they can
yeah.
understand that she had been through all this and she can help me. That is beautiful. So, had it ever happened that when you started onto your spiritual journey, you thought that I must go back. I want to go back to my the normal self or the older self.
Yeah. Even with the religion, like when I was
Hmm.
really exploring, I would watch some videos about like Christianity based, like end times and Armageddon and the rapture and everything. And I remember I had this moment where I'm like, oh man, do I need to become a Christian again? Like, is that the right path? Like, am I doing this wrong, going this other way? And
Hmm.
I remember I like stayed up all night and meditated and like really dwelled on this. And I came to the realization like, no, I don't need to go back to that. That doesn't actually resonate with
Hmm.
who I am and how I express my spirituality. So I did have that, like, I don't know what you want to call it. Like, it wasn't a dark night of the soul or anything. It was
Yeah,
just this
maybe.
moment of kind of clarity for myself.
Hmm.
Like, I know this old path. I led that life for like 25 years. Obviously, it's more comfortable and it
Hmm.
would make my
Exactly.
family more happy if I went that path. But it was like, no, this other path, yes, it's new. I don't quite understand it, but there's something more tangible or
We need to go it.
something.
I need to keep
Yeah, I
working
was
on
like,
this.
I just gotta keep figuring this out. I don't want to.
I know.
Yeah, so I had to make that choice. Yeah,
Hmm.
that was
That
big
is
for
the
me.
most difficult part because it is like our own shadows are coming up. Maybe I don't know, but it happens sometimes that, oh my God, looking at other people who are living just like normal life, sometimes even I think she is living a totally different life. She is not bothered about what is going to happen next. How am I going to solve it? How am I going to heal myself? Nothing. Why am I bothering myself? And then I say, you are on a right path. Keep going on. You have to be your
Yes.
own motivator, right?
Oh, totally. Be your own cheerleader, right? For sure.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I do. Kitty, you can do it. If you watch my videos recently, I started saying, be your own motivator, be your own cheerleader. You can do it.
Yeah.
I keep doing
No.
that.
Well,
Mm,
I think in the end, that's the best starting point. Yeah,
yeah.
eventually you're going to attract people who will
Mm,
encourage you and everything. But if you know how to encourage yourself and to motivate yourself, you're always going to succeed or move
mm,
forward. And to me, that's a part of that going inward and not looking outward almost, right? Like
exactly.
your energy and everything should come from you, and that motivation to grow and to move forward needs to
Yeah.
start with you. And oh, I'm totally right there with you. Like, be your own
Yes.
cheerleader, pat yourself on the
Yes.
back, you know.
Exactly.
There's
Exactly.
nothing wrong
Exactly.
with that at
So,
all.
so everyone who is watching this, if you are watching my YouTube videos, this is Joy is putting up the same words that I use in all my videos. You have to be your own cheerleader. Keep doing this. No one is going to come to rescue you. Keep cheerleading yourself. Keep patting on your shoulders to move on. That's beautiful, Joy. I love this because when we talk to different people who are walking onto the spiritual path, that helps others who are maybe just
Mm,
starting out or into their journey. It helps them to understand that whatever is going on is the right path. We need to keep walking on. I never had that. I learned everything on my own. I never had that point where I could find a video or find a course which says you're on the right path. Keep walking in.
mm.
There's no manual out there, right?
No, there isn't. And I mean, I've always liked watching tarot readings, so you might hear it in that, but it's also, does it resonate? Or you kind of have to let it guide you to hear that. But
Yeah.
I'm always, yeah, I'm all about going inward. That's kind of my thing with the astronaut of
I
life, is to go inward.
This morning I did a 2 hours live video recording on YouTube, and there's a link somewhere you can watch that. Okay, so what was the main thing I said? I'm not going to predict anything. I'm going to forecast and guide you what you can do. That's how I use tarot
Mm,
cards, because when you know the guidance point, you can, of course, change the future anytime you like.
yeah. Well, I don't know about you, but my guides just show me like one step ahead at a time. There
Yeah.
is no, this is the next 10 steps. I don't get that. It's
Hmm.
literally like I have a little lantern and I can just see where to put my foot right in front of the one I'm in.
Hmm.
So it's little by little. And to me, that's walking by faith. That's faith and trust, right? Is I think, especially as an anxious person, I want to know 50 steps ahead and I want to know exactly where we're going, what turns I'm
Hmm.
going to take. So it takes a lot to be like, no, I'm just here in this moment, in this moment. This is what I know. And I know that, I need to do, my guides are telling me I need to rest today. So that's the step for today is I need to let my
Hmm.
body rest. So I need to honor my body and rest. And then tomorrow, okay, today I feel really motivated to make a YouTube video. So,
Hmm.
okay, that's the next step. Okay, we're going to make this YouTube video. It's going to be amazing. Right. And it's quite an adjustment when you
Hmm.
jump on this spiritual path to just let yourself be
Slow
guided
down.
in this a slow, gentle way, because
Hmm.
I think in a lot of times in our societies, when you're not on a spiritual path, it's up to you to plan ahead and make these points, and we're just so used to thinking in this manner, like for example, as an American in
Plans
high
and goals.
school, yeah, like growing up for me, it was like, well, you need to know where you're going to go to college, what you're going to major in.
Hmm.
You need to know when you want to get married by, and when you want to buy a house and all these things. And yeah, you're 17, but you need to know all this stuff. And it's kind of ingrained in you. Even in my
Exactly.
Christian culture, it was like that. So it's a whole other perspective, and I'd say for most people, this a large shift in how
Hmm.
you operate day to day. And especially when your business is spiritual based,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that's just kind of how it goes, right? Like,
I know.
yeah.
Even I bring the easiest, smallest steps my clients can take because I do coaching and counseling both. And I say I simplify your spiritual journey and I bring the smallest step because every small step brings in the largest big change in you, right?
Oh, so true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
so beautifully said. Yes.
mm,
Well,
that's my
yeah, you
aim actually. Hmm.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Well, that's kind of the message I got this morning from my guide in my automatic writing, actually, which is so cool that it's coming up again. So I
Hmm.
guess it's something I really need to take in, because it's like just be in the now. When you feel
Hmm.
you need to shift, shift. But as you just let this flow and this process flow, when you look back, you're going to have moved. It's going to be
Exactly.
a much bigger shift than maybe you realize, because you're just kind of doing it in this gradual flowing manner. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's a
Exactly.
beautiful thing. Yeah.
This is so nice that we are connecting and we are on the same page somehow and we
Yeah.
can understand each other. But my point is, you have to start somewhere, you have to start today. If you won't start, you are going to stay stuck in this life or many other lifetimes. What do you think about that? Do you believe in reincarnation and karma and
Oh,
everything?
yeah, 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 I do. Yeah, I think action is very important. To me, that's more the masculine energy, right? So the feminine is just to have these ideas
Hmm.
and dream it up, but the goal is to bring that down into action, down to your chakras into action. So, like for me, I like writing fiction. I get story ideas all the time. That's beautiful, but nobody knows about it if I don't take the action and write them
Exactly.
down and publish
Hmm.
them, right? So it's
Exactly.
you if you feel like this is all resonating, this is more for the viewers, and you're like, okay, I know I need to take action, but you're not sure how. I think a lot of the blocks is, well, I don't know how. I don't know how to meditate. I don't know how to connect to my
We
guides.
are
I don't
here for
know
you.
how X, Y, and Z. And to me, I got caught up in that too myself before. Like, well, I don't know how, so I'm just
Yeah.
not going to do it, right? But that's an excuse,
Exactly.
and you can
Hmm.
still make a step forward even if you don't know how. Even you can even just say, guides, I don't know how, can you tell me? That's an
Exactly.
action.
Exactly.
That's an
Exactly.
action.
Exactly. True. We are here. You are here. I am here. Ask. Ask. Just ask. In every video,
Yeah.
I started saying, ask your questions. If you won't ask questions, you're never going to get the answers and you will stay stuck.
Oh,
That
I love that.
I mean, I
Yeah.
am feeling that I reached to a point where I have attained the highest level of spirituality, you can say, because I am detached with everyone, even my own son. And I'm at that point where I am thinking that all those people who are just starting out or in the middle of this journey, how do they feel? How I used to feel. So I need to make their journey easiest, and that's why this series, this meditation, this interview series is just
Yeah.
for that. So that you can understand that everyone started. She started somewhere, I started somewhere, and we all have to start somewhere. Okay, so Joy, what else do you want to say to the viewers who are either just starting out or on to their journey on a little path or maybe in the middle of this path? What do you want to
Yeah.
gift them, or what is there one thing that you want to share?
Well, one thing I'd like to share is it's okay to be comfortable with the unknown and not knowing everything. You don't have to know everything to be spiritual. You don't even have to know the how, right? You watching this video is an
Hmm.
action. You know, working these small steps, those are powerful. And that's for me how I got started. I like I said earlier, I didn't quite know what everybody was talking about, but it resonated and I kept watching it. And that was an action that I needed to take at the time because it was literally me educating myself on
Hmm.
the how, this elusive how. So, yeah. And another thing that people can look for, which we haven't really touched on yet, is synchronicities in their life. Though that's a huge, huge, there's synchronicities all around us. Like, well, earlier,
How
how I said
we
my,
had, yeah,
yeah,
in this
how I
video.
wrote, yeah, we've had one in this video. And that's
Hmm.
like, okay, this message is being confirmed again. This could be with numbers, symbols, you
Hmm.
know, all sorts of things can be synchronicities. But as you pay attention to them, it's all, for me, it feels like you're learning the language of your
Hmm.
guides or of the other realms. And it feels very personal because we all you hear it angel numbers, right? That's just numbers
Hmm.
in a sequence that you see a lot. And when you start paying attention to these, to me it's allowing yourself to open up to all these possibilities, to the unknown, because whether you know it or not, they're there.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I don't know how many times I probably looked at the clock before my awakening and saw like 12:12 or 11:11, and it didn't
Hmm.
mean anything to me, right? But then when you start looking for these synchronicities, for these coincidences, you're like, oh, there's something to this. Like this is something is trying to speak to me, and you can use that to help you move forward. Yeah, and
Yes.
yeah, don't beat yourself up if you're not like a guru. You don't need to be a guru. That's
Exactly.
not the goal. You just need to do what you feel in here. And to me, that's right here is the best starting point. Just meditate on this spot and see what happens. And if you fall asleep, you fall asleep. Keep
Hmm.
keep working at it because eventually you won't fall asleep or
Hmm.
you won't get lost in a daydream or a thought, and it's going to shift and it'll be very powerful, more powerful than
Hmm.
you probably can expect, right?
Exactly. Fear is stopping us from getting into spirituality because what will happen? Spirituality is what? Connecting to your own soul, your own spirit. That's all.
Mm.
When you started working on yourself, you trust yourself more, and that ease up your life, isn't it?
And well, yeah, oh, you just said that so beautifully. Yeah, when you go inward and you start working on yourself and seeing yourself for who you truly are. For me, when I first met my higher self it was in meditation, a guided meditation at that. And I didn't fall asleep. I had this beautiful experience where my higher self kind of like walked in and I literally just collapsed in this meditation. I mean, I was
Hmm.
like, it was a vision and I collapsed
Hmm.
because the unconditional love radiating off of my higher self just
Oh
overwhelmed
my
me.
God.
And I was just bawling, crying my eyes out, more out of like, not sadness, but like just this awe of like, what? That's me? And I knew it was me, but it was like, I am not that.
It's
I am not pure
inexplainable.
unconditional love. Yeah.
I know.
A- And that was so profound for me because it was like, okay, if that's what my higher self is, and I have felt that unconditional love that my higher self just radiates out, and I'm a piece of that, I'm a expression of that, what I
Hmm.
met. It's like, wow, it changed how I viewed myself at the time because this was pretty early on my spiritual
Hmm.
journey. And it was like, well, I know I have love inside of me. And as I worked, I always point to here because for me, it's in the heart space is where your power is.
Hmm.
And I could tap in and I could feel that unconditional love. It's like this ball of light or energy that just
Hmm.
kind of vibrates inside of you. And it was like, oh, there it is. Okay. It is with me. It is here. And I can tap into this. And I didn't know that was there. I didn't know my higher self radiated unconditional love. I just,
Hmm.
I'm always considered myself a loving person, but it also helps you reflect on more your shadow or the pieces of yourself you're not accepting or not showing
Hmm.
love. And that's kind of where that inner work comes in, which isn't easy by
Hmm.
any means. Uh, it's very, I would say, therapeutic in a way. It's almost like self therapy. So, but to me, that's crucial to the spiritual path because as you
Hmm.
go inward, you revealed like, oh, well,
All the
yeah, my
darkness.
higher self. Oh, yeah, it's like my higher self's unconditional love, but I'm not showing unconditional love to
Hmm.
myself in this way. And maybe I should, love
Hmm.
myself in this way. And yeah,
See,
it changes you.
when you were saying about your heart, I'm wearing green colored clothes. There is green behind you, and I can see a green colored card which shows
Yes.
your heart chakra, I think. There's
Yeah,
so much,
yeah.
and it is a synchronicity because whoever is watching this video, you need to work onto your heart chakra or
Mm.
heart center to change your reality, to start ahead walking onto this path. It is going to help you. A little message
Oh,
for you, I must say.
another heart. Yeah, that's heart worthy for sure.
More greens. Green is the color of heart chakra. So,
Yes.
so work on it. Work on it. So, whoever is watching this, this is for you to know that you need to start working on your heart chakra right now, and you have to
Mm.
start working on yourself. Don't look outside. Go in, as she said. And I'm so thankful for you, Joy. Thank you so much for being here, for guiding these people who might be waiting for this little nick, this little video to walk onto the path. Thank you so much for your loving energy.
Well, thank you for having me. This has been such a blessing to me too, to talk with you and to share. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and everyone, live in light, enjoy your life, and start today. Bye. We'll meet again.